Today is the first day of the rest of your life if you have Lyme disease or suffer from a condition that resembles Lyme disease. No topic of conversation stirs up more controversy, more mistrust, more fear, more confusion than the topic of Lyme disease. Part of it's because of the creepiness of these spirochete bacterium that act like intelligent worms. And the accusations are significantly severe. Treasonistic accusations of our federal government and state and local governments, who some still deny the existence of a disease that's now crippled hundreds of thousands of people. And me being one. I am so thrilled to be here today to announce that all of this is coming to an end. No matter what side of the controversy you are on, if you are the accused or the accuser, it's all moot and immaterial because the problem of Lyme disease has been solved. And there are many heroes in this journey for me. The two major heroes for me, one is Dr. Townsend of the Townsend Letter, first really explained what Lyme really was and how the spirochete operated, and explained what the toxicity was doing to people and the nature of that toxicity. And when I heard a girl on Dr. Phil tell the nation that the copper saved her life, I went to Mitosynergy in person and looked at my blood through a microscope. I watched what the copper did. It did 4 things, some of which I could actually see with my own eyes. Some of it which I could experience when I took the copper. And it was this. The first thing the copper did was enter red blood cells and attach to any existing spirochetes that were in the vicinity and inside or outside of the blood cell. But the penetration of the blood cell was remarkable, and it expelled the spirochetes out of the red blood cells. Immediately, when exposed in serum, the copper attached to one end of the spirochete, immobilizing it. Pretty soon, all the spirochetes that were in the bloodstream and in my sample had copper attached to them, at least on one end. And like a magnet, they all strung together, forming these long strands, 60, 70, 80 micrometers long. So that's one thing that the copper did. It went right for those spirochetes. The mechanism, we could discuss it all day. It's a great topic of conversation for nerds, but it's immaterial. The stuff works. That's what matters. And the other thing that we got to see this copper do right before our eyes is absorb into the white cell, the neutrophils, swelling the nucleus 2 to 3 times the size, activating those neutrophils that then, in the sample, actually attached those strands of spirochetes and began to devour and destroy the spirochetes. The other thing that the copper does, that we know it does, is that it restores ATP synthesis in damaged cells and even nerve cells. So the neuropathy and the nerve degeneration can be counteracted. The toxicity, the nerve toxicity of the spirochete can be counteracted because copper supplies electrons to the mitochondria, restoring energy production in a cell that was dying from lack of energy. And the other thing that copper does, and proven in the laboratory and by people who take it, it heals damaged tissue by cross-linking collagen and elastin and forming new blood vessels. The term angiogenesis is a term described in the literature that attributes that mechanism to copper, forming new blood vessels. So your healing times are speeded up, your sick time is taken away, and a new life lies ahead of you. Now this copper, the person that has made this available to the world first discovered it because he was looking for something to help nerve regeneration in his brother who was paralyzed. He flew to Egypt, where copper has been used for 5,000 years, and that's written in stone, by the way. And he tried it with his brother and saw an improvement in the nerve functioning. Working out a deal, he rewrote the patent to have it be more U.S. compliant, bought out the patent, and now is the sole patent holder for a copper molecule that does not exist in the environment. It only exists inside of living plants. Not plants that have been sitting pulled up dead, but in living plants. That's the only way you can find copper 1. This next video will explain the magic behind this supplement.
Copper is 29 on the periodic table. It has 29 protons and 29 electrons. This is called copper 0 because it is copper in a stable form, like a nugget, a penny, or a pipe. In nature, copper in the soil gets rained on and becomes fully oxidized, which causes it to lose 2 electrons, leaving it with a total of 27 electrons. Fully oxidized copper is blue. It is the same copper you see on corroded pipes. This copper is called copper 2, cupric copper, or copper for plants. Plants soak up the copper 2, give it back 1 electron, and turn it from blue to a reddish color. The copper now has 28 electrons and is called copper 1, cuprous copper, or copper for humans. We then eat the plants and absorb the copper 1 into our body. It all comes down to 1 electron. Why is that 1 electron so important? There are many functions within our cells that require copper. To perform these functions, the copper needs to have an electron available to donate. Copper 1, which is made up of 28 electrons, has a donatable electron. Copper 2 does not have an electron to donate because there's no copper with 26 electrons. Since there is no electron available to donate, copper 2 does not get absorbed into the cells of your body. It remains in the extracellular matrix, accumulating and becoming toxic. One of the most important functions of copper within the cell is ATP cycling. ATP is your body's energy. This energy is needed for everything that your body does. Think of ATP as your body's fuel. Just like your car needs fuel to run, so does your body. Gasoline is the fuel that energizes your car. ATP is the fuel that energizes your body. There are 38 ATP yielded during each cycle, 2 during glycolysis, 2 during Krebs cycle, and 34 from the electron transport chain. What is the critical component required to complete the electron transport chain and yield 34 of the 38 ATP? Copper 1. Imagine if your body was deficient in copper 1. There would be cells unable to make 90% of the energy they need to function. Lethargy, loss of mental clarity, and physical discomfort are only the first signs of trouble. Now, you might be saying, but I have a multivitamin with copper. Yes, but that's copper 2, the same blue copper on corroded pipes and in the dirt that cannot get into your cells to be utilized. We've pioneered technology enabling us to mimic plants and create the only bioavailable copper 1 supplement in the world. Imagine what your body can do with 90% more energy, increased mental clarity, increased energy, increased comfort, all thanks to copper 1.
So I could go on, like a nerd that I am, and discuss all the ins and outs and ups and downs of Lyme and spirochetes and ammonia toxicity, nerve toxicity, but you know what? I've done that for years now. And now it just feels good not to have to do that. It feels good to make an offer to you that is so unbelievable, I can't fathom it myself. It is often said, and even in the Bible, it is written that money is the root of all evil. So, yes, beware of the man who has his hand out. And if you're going to trust somebody, why don't you trust the person that's, instead of having their hand out, is giving you a handout? The person, instead of asking for money, is giving you money. Which person has the most honor? The one taking or the one giving? It also said and written in many places that knowledge is power. And that is the case. The more you know about a topic, the better you are in dealing with any incident. Some things may seem beyond our control, but in time and faith and belief and hard work, perseverance, almost everything and almost anything can become possible. And this stuff has made such a difference in my life and so many other people's lives that the only way for you to really understand is to try it for yourself. So the manufacturer of Midos Energy, that guy who went to Egypt to help his own family, is now offering you the same opportunity that he offered his brother. A sample, a test run. See if it works. Guaranteed. No risk. In America, an offer like that usually does not exist. Take advantage of this, because it will not be an offer that stands forever. It's going to be temporary, because you can't be giving away free stuff worth $80 to $90 a piece to anybody who asks for it. But who's a criminal? Who's at fault? Who's a liar? How much money are you going to spend at your Lyme Center? All of that, all of it becomes an immaterial, a moot point of reference, moot topics. And all the stuff that we've learned about this spirochetes and about the Lyme, everything that we have learned will go in a book. That book is going on a shelf, and start collecting dust. So, take advantage. Go to this link I leave below. Sign up for their auto ship program, and really bring meaning to the phrase, today is the first day of the rest of your life. I bid you peace, good luck,